There's only two left. I promise everyone, there's only two left. Dennis Sullivan here, Sports Snippets, Sunday evening, the 15th of December. Glad to have you watching this video. Really glad to have you watching this video. And you know what? I say there's only two left, but come on, there's been some good parts to this season. We've had a couple of nice wins. We've had some nice individual performances. So I say that really as a joke, but there is some serious aspect to it as well. Please don't forget to like and subscribe should you enjoy the content of this video, and go ahead and ring that bell if you'd like to as well, or just click on it, or whatever you want to do. Okay, let's get into the summary and recap of today's game. It was a loss by the Miami Dolphins at MetLife Stadium against the New York Giants, 36-20. The way the Giants outplayed us in the second half, though, score doesn't quite tell the whole story. We kind of scored a late touchdown there, and they got us pretty good in the second half. But it is what it is. Dolphins fall to a record of 3-11. Giants improve to a record of 3-11. Let's get into the breakdown, everyone. Let's make it as interesting as I can here. You know, we're kind of looking at these little bright spots as we see them. I start off with running game, and today we did see. Hey, let's start off with a bright spot. We did see the return of the running game. I'm sitting here a few weeks ago saying, nope, that's it. Running game. Hopefully, it'll come back next year. We're done. We're done for this year. Maybe 2 yards a carry. That's about all we're going to average. But thanks to a couple of nice runs, couple of long runs, the Dolphin running game really wasn't that bad, really. Let's take a look at that. I mean, you had Patrick Laird at 12 carries for 46 yards. Myles Gaskin would chip in with 9 carries, 43 yards. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the new running quarterback that he is, 4 carries, 33 yards. Sometimes I don't like to see him run so much because we kind of need him to help us throwing the ball, but it is what it is. I mean, he's been gaining yards on the ground. He did fumble again, though. We were helped by 3 nice runs. Patrick Laird had a long run of 18 yards. Myles Gaskin would have a 27-yard run, and Ryan Fitzpatrick himself would have a 13-yard run. So each of those 3 players had a nice run to their credit, which kind of, yeah, sure, it made the stats look better at the end of the day. I mean, the Dolphins ran a little bit over 20 times for somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 and it was, I'll tell you right now, it was like 121, 122 yards, somewhere in that area. So the running game really didn't fail us today, and that was nice to see. Second half, let's discuss that real quick. Item number 2, second half, brought me back to September for a while, brought me back to parts of October for a while. That was the bummer part of today, the second half effort, and I'm thinking back to the Cowboy game. I'm thinking back to the Steeler game. I'm thinking back to the Charger game, where we just didn't play as well, especially in that Cowboy game and Steeler game on Monday Night Football, where we would just lose in the second half. But the Giants just came out and took it to us in the second half, and they deserve the win. They deserve the win. Okay, let's discuss now a little bit more about the Dolphin attack offensively. Let's discuss Devante a little bit. Devante Parker, to my knowledge, really, from what I can remember, for the first time, really, he's been put into this role of main receiver, go-to guy, number 1 target, and he's fared very well in that role. Make no mistake. In the past, we had him more as like a big play type threat. You know, he really never had the consistent targets from what I remember, and he was, you know, he had a couple of nice games here and there, but mainly you're looking at a couple of catches, maybe he gets 60, 70, 80 yards because he breaks one, but not the consistent, nothing near the consistent type of performances that we've been seeing the second part of the season. Okay, now we know Preston Williams is out for the season, and right around that time is when Devante took over the ownership of the #1 receiver. There's one area the Dolphins are really not lacking in. It's skilled wide receivers, and you got Gesicki's a good receiving tight end. So we got to take a look at that. If there's one player we don't need to draft, and I'm sure we won't draft, at least I hope, is a talented wide receiver. We have talent at that position. Ryan Fitzpatrick would complete 23 of 41 passes, for 279 yards. He would throw for 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Dolphins seem to lose the sack battle in most of these games. Today we were sacked 3 times. Fitzpatrick was. Eli only sacked once. In addition to Devante Parker, Albert Wilson had a nice game, 5 catches, 59 yards. Gesicki chips in, with 47 yards on 4 catches. Clive Walford would catch 2 passes for 34 yards. Myles Gaskin out of the backfield, 2 catches, 29 yards. The star of last week, Isaiah Ford, 3 catches, 21 yards, quieter performance for him. Did look like he could have come up with that catch in the end zone there, right near the cone, not far from it there, and the beginning part of the end zone. The angle I saw looked like he could have probably come up with it, but you know what? He made a good effort. These last few videos for the season, I'm not going to start getting negative on things, guys. We've been through enough here. We've been through enough. Heard today that the Dolphins, on their roster, 23 undrafted players. Think about that. Let that sink in for a few minutes. Also, Jason Sanders. Let's bring him back next year, please. Yes, he misses a kick every now and then, but he finished 2 out of 3. He's made a lot of difficult field goals this season. He made a 47-yard field goal today on the road. Not bad at all. Jerome Baker on the defensive side of the ball had a nice game. 6 tackles, 6 assists, and an interception. That's a nice game by Jerome Baker. Vince Beagle with an interception. Nick Needham also had an interception for the Miami Dolphin defense. Let's now discuss the New York Giants and their victory and break that down for a little bit here for you guys. And Giant fans, if you're watching along, hey, thanks for watching as well. Eli Manning, 20 out of 28 for 283 yards, 2 touchdowns, was only sacked once. What did hurt him, though, were those 3 interceptions. So that was the one negative aspect of his game today. But otherwise, he played pretty well otherwise. Saquon Barkley, workhorse type effort, 112 yards on the ground on 24 carries. He ran for 2 touchdowns. He was first team All-Pro out there, and he was a big factor. Nice complimentary effort in the backfield by Javarius Allen, who also rushed for a touchdown on 8 carries for 28 yards in that rushing touchdown. Sterling Shepard led the way for the Giants with 9 catches and 111 yards. You notice how a lot of games this year, especially it seems the second half of this year, we've allowed the Dolphins have a lot of big receiving games to opponents. This was another one, close to 10 catches, over 100 yards. We've seen a lot of that this year. Golden Tate only had 1 reception, but it was a big one, 51-yard touchdown reception. Eli seemed to do a really good job spreading the ball around. I noticed he got a lot of his receivers involved, did a nice job there. Caden Smith, 3 catches, 38 yards. Barkley out of the backfield would have 4 catches, 31 yards. Darius Slayton caught a touchdown pass also on 2 catches for 31 yards. The Giant defense was led by Sam Beal, 8 tackles, 3 assists. Linebacker David Mayo with 6 tackles. Giants also had a couple other guys I saw 4 or 5 tackles. They had a nice team effort, it looked like, on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of key contributors there. Let's talk about Eli for a moment. Item number 4. Great to see. Giant fans showing their appreciation to Eli Manning, as they should, and it was great to see. Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls for the Giants during his career. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'd be surprised if he didn't get into the Hall. I don't even want to start that conversation. I'm pretty sure Eli goes to the Hall of Fame. One little thing I don't understand, like it said something like when I was reading online, potential farewell. I don't know the whole story there. I know the Giants play one more home game. Last week of the season, I believe they host the Eagles. So I'm a little confused there what that's all about, but it doesn't matter. What's way more important than Sports Snippets Dennis Sullivan being confused is that Eli got the appreciation that he deserved. And hopefully they will do the same thing in Week 17. And so that was nice to see. And there was a lot of I saw his parents in the stands, and it was very, very nice to see and very well deserved. 2 games left, Dolphins. That's it. We got 2 left. A home game next week against the Bengals. You would think that's a winnable game. You would think. Maybe we can get our 4th win. Last game of the season will be on the road at New England, who may or may not need to win that game due to playoff seeding, which of course means that we may or may not, you guessed it, win that game. So these are the times we're in. We got to count on other teams not needing a win to have a chance, right? But it is what it is. Patriots are an outstanding team. So anyway, I would like to end this video by saying that, that we've had some nice highlights to the season. We've had some interesting parts of this 2019 season. It hasn't all been bad. I mean, we've won 3 games. We still have 2 games left. Let's go out and get a 4th win. We're going to have what hopes to be a good draft. I would like to discuss at a later time on one of my videos. Would like to discuss a little bit more in depth regarding needs. And I've been thinking about this over the last few weeks, more like 2-3 weeks. I've been thinking about this. I'm not sure if this will happen, but I'm almost leaning towards perhaps staying with Fitzpatrick for another year. Let's just stay with him. Receiving core isn't really that bad. It's the other areas, the offensive line, the defense. I mean, we can go position by position. There's a lot of other areas. Patrick Laird, like to see him next year in more of like a nice complimentary Danny Woodhead role, as they were kind of referring to on the telecast last week. They were doing these little Danny Woodhead type comparisons. That was a big compliment to Patrick Laird, I thought. So until next time, everyone, Dennis Sullivan, Sports Snippets, I will see you. That is right. I will see you next time. We will recap the game, which is a home game against the Bengals next week. Let's hope we get that 4th win. So until then, feel free to share a comment below. Like the video. If you did like the content, go ahead and hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.